radio life. Guaranteed to have the time of your life because the Mets are really rocking that ball. Hitting those home runs over the wall. East side, west side, everybody's coming down to meet the METS Mets of New York town.
And here are your hosts of the MetsCast, Nick Durst and John Brown.
East side, west side, everybody's coming down.
MetsCast episode 7 right here on WGSports.com. I'm Nick Durst, joined again, of course, by John Brown, and you are not going to believe what we're going to talk about today. Oh, yes, you are. We're going to talk about the Mets, because it's the MetsCast. This is your go-to place for all Mets news and reaction throughout the season. And, John, let's get right into it. The Mets, rough weekend down in Atlanta. They had the split, and then, the rain out, so just it wasn't looking good there. And you were thinking, oh, is the wheels gonna fall off here? Tuesday night in St. Louis, they are losing. They come from behind twice, and they get the win. And this is their fourth come from behind win of the season after trailing in the seventh inning. All of last year, John, they only had 4 comeback wins after trailing in the 7th inning. So the team is showing fight here. And Cespedes has the massive home run to tie the game up. Bruce hits a home run to, of course, give him the win. But let's start with the man who has been locked it down in that game as well, and that's Jeurys Familia. And, John, there was some question marks about him coming to the season after he was injured last year. But the guy is leading Major League Baseball with saves. He has 9 saves already.
Yeah, I got to say, he was a little shaky there right in the beginning, but it was very cold. It was the day after the Yankees had a snow delay. So it was very cold, but he's pitched phenomenally. He has 17 strikeouts in only 13 innings, which is amazing. He's not giving up the long ball. No, he looks really, really good. And I think that we've used him the proper way as well, which really, really helps. Actually, fun fact, I was watching Tuesday's game. I had to watch the MLB network, and for some reason, I got the broadcast from St. Louis. And I'm watching the at-bat that Cespedes hits the 3-run home run. And it's right after Weaver walks 2 batters. He throws 7 balls in a row. The first pitch to Cespedes, Cespedes swings and misses. And like my go-to thing as a Met fan goes, oh no, he's going to strike out, because he has been striking out quite a bit. But then Weaver can't find the strike zone still. Now he throws this high meatball changeup, get me over changeup, and Cespedes hits it. And as soon as the crack of the bat, I knew it was out. And he hits this, I think it was at the very end, I think it was like 467, massive home run. This is just a different team.
It was the longest home run of the season, and he hits it into Big Mac land, which is where Mark McGwire, hit a lot of home runs. And Cespedes, he's in a slump, or so everybody says. But the bottom line with Cespedes, John, is that through Tuesday's game, 21 RBIs in 21 games. He's on pace for 162 RBIs. And he's second in the league in the NL in RBIs. He's batting like .390 with runners in scoring position. So, I don't know. It's got to be the weirdest slump I've ever seen in my life.
It's one of those, it's like an eye test that breaks the sabermetrics model. Because if you looked at paper, you'd go, oh, wow, this guy's, he's batting 200, he's at the Mendoza line, blah, 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 blah. But he's a bad ball hitter, meaning that he gets these pitches that aren't strikes, the sliders on the low outside, and he hits it. Sometimes he hits it over the fence. So he's one of those guys who can really hit any ball out. So he's going to swing. He's going to be a little bit of a wild swinger. I think he does a little bit of guessing. When he guesses right, good luck. The ball's smoked out of there. But honestly, I watched his at bat yesterday. He didn't look like a player that was lost, and that's I think the difference between numbers and the eye test. You could tell when a batter's lost, especially as a Met fan. We saw plenty of guys who were just up there lost for a long time. Go watch a Jason Bay at bat years ago. You could just tell the guy had no clue what was going on. And then you watch Cespedes even batting 200. It doesn't really matter. He kind of gets it. He knows where the pitcher's at. He knows what he's trying to do. I think this batting him second thing is working out really great. And I think it's one of the reasons that he has all these RBIs. He gets at bats with guys in running in scoring position like all the time. Very, very smart. I was actually against it. I thought he should have been batting cleanup, but hey, what the hell do I know?
Right, and the thing with Cespedes is that we expect him to be. He's going to bat 270, 275, 280. We think he's going to bat that. Opening day, and even on the first show here, we were like, this lineup's a little weird. Then Conforto comes back. You got Cabrera batting third. But it's working out because another thing, Conforto, he's not really hitting right now. He's in a slump. But you know what, John? Every single game that he's played so far, since he's come back, he's been on base, which is absolutely great. And that goes back to your point of people being on base for Cespedes. And Rosario, he's batting 290 when he bats ninth. Every other spot he's batting in, he bats like 212. So maybe that's working out well. Again, going back to our points all season so far on the MetsCast that Mickey Callaway's pushing the right buttons. And the other thing you have to talk about is the team MVP so far, and that's Asdrubal Cabrera. He is leading Major League Baseball in average. He's a 349 hitter. I don't think anybody saw that coming, and it's been a pleasant surprise, and it's obviously played a large part into their early season success.
Absolutely. I like Cabrera. I think obviously he's on the second part of his career. He's not a shortstop anymore, but he's still a switch hitter who's always been a good hitter. I think where he's batting now, in between Cespedes and Bruce most of the time, is really great. The switch hitting is phenomenal as well for us. But if you just take a look at the Mets stats, their on base percentage is very good for all their starting pitchers. All the starting players outside of catchers. You look at Conforto has 16 walks already in only 49 at bats. That's phenomenal.
Right. Todd Frazier is walking a ton. I mean, he's on pace for a career high in walks.
His on base percentage is 411. This is Sandy Alderson's wet dream. This whole team is they're playing the game the right way. They seem to buy into it. Guys who used to be that 3-4 guy who's going to hit all these home runs, blah, blah, blah. It seems like we have essentially 3 of them, maybe even 4 guys who've hit 30 at least once in their career. He has them all up and down the lineup, but he's making them, in spots they're not normally in, but they seem to buy into the program, and it's working out. Last night, we're down 3 runs. Weaver loses the strike zone a little bit. I'm like, oh, well, I'm sure the bullpen's going to come out of here, and this game is going to be tough. Once Cespedes hits that ball, even though Harvey gives up the lead in the next inning, you still never lose hope because this team it's a fighter. It has a different feeling every at bat than it did the last couple of years. It reminds me a lot of the 2015 team where it just seems like what's going on in the clubhouse and what's the players are all buying in. It just, for whatever reason, it seems like it's working out.
Well, the key thing so far, obviously, Swarzak has done nothing. He's been the DL. AJ Ramos, who we traded for last year, he's been really shaky. But the bullpen, other than that, Blevins hasn't been his usual self. But Giselman, Lugo, and I want to give a shout out to Paul Sewald. This guy,
yes.
He has been really good. Going into Wednesday, he had a 1.74 ERA in 5 games. He pitched 10 innings. He had multiple outings where he went multiple innings. He's only given up 5 hits, and he's only walked 1 batter and struck out 13. So I think that's a great walk to strikeout ratio, if you ask me. And I don't know what more you could ask from this guy. He's definitely earned his spot in the Mets bullpen. This is a guy who, throughout his minor league career, has been a closer, and he's showing he has the skill set to really succeed at the major league level.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's one of the things that you can't buy too much into the bullpen before the season starts. You can't buy too much out of it because it really is. You throw it against the wall, see what happens. And we're seeing that a little bit. I know the last few games down in Atlanta, the bullpen actually hasn't been as good as it was. But if you average it out, they're actually still doing very well. Now that Robles and his gas can aren't there, I think we'll be all right. Blevins, he'll be fine. He's gotten hit up a little bit. But I do like that 1-2 punch of those long relievers who can give you 2-3 innings. I don't know what Harvey's going to be out of the pen. He didn't look terrible yesterday. He did give up a run, but it wasn't like he was getting hit around, a lot. It was a freakish double after a single. I hope that he starts to take to the bullpen and doesn't just, take this as an ego shot and shut down. I hope that he uses this as like a learning point and sort of changes the stuff. A great test case could be what Trevor Hoffman did. When Trevor Hoffman changed from that, crazy strike you out 96 power cutter on the inside to this, fastball slider changeup kind of guy who gets you with this like devastating outside changeup. He changed his approach. He essentially changed the way he was being a pitcher. He changed his whole mindset, the way he attacked at bats. Even areas of the strike zone that he'd go after. The first start of Harvey, I think he did that really well. The last two starts, I think he kind of went back to old Harvey, which used to be great, but that plus fastball's not there anymore. That put away fastball that he used to have isn't there. It's the 94 fastball, which is still very, very good. You just have to pick and choose it. You can't just throw it by people. So, this is going to be a big take for him, and I hope that he takes it and runs. Maybe he becomes like Isrinhouse, where he's like he's supposed to be a starter. His career changes a little bit, and he ends up becoming a really good bullpen guy. That's the best we could hope for.
I have to get on Anthony DiComo and the media members who were giving Harvey a hard time for not speaking to them on Tuesday night, because Harvey has every right to decline that. Because number one, he's pissed. He's pissed off about being in the bullpen, and he deserves to be pissed. I mean, I would be mad if he was very happy about that. That would make me very mad. And number two, I don't know of any other situation where you are going after the big comeback win to interview a guy who came in the sixth inning, gave up a run, and did not factor into the decision. Why would you ever go speak to him? That doesn't make any sense. So I'm with Harvey on the fact that he declined to speak to the media, and he was like saying, hey, let's focus on the win here. I'm not a story in this win, which was true. The other thing about this, you agree with that, John?
Absolutely. That's just, playing in New York, gossip column, BS.
Right, and you see it all the time in other sports, like with the New York Giants and Odell Beckham Jr. I mean, this guy, if he was in New York City and he was eating a slice of pizza, it would be the front page of the newspaper. Whereas, like, if he was playing in Cleveland, nobody would care. But that's what happens with the New York media, and it's really sickening.
Absolutely, it's just it's a clown show. Why are you interviewing a middle reliever who he didn't get the decision one way or the other? It had really nothing to do with the outcome of this game. Right. Why aren't you talking to Jay Bruce, who won the game on a walk?
Exactly. The other thing that concerns me about the bullpen is that the Mets have 5 starters now. They have the ace, DeGrom, Syndergaard. They have Matz, Wheeler, and Vargas, who's coming back. And one of them are getting hurt again. It's a matter of time. But in the bullpen, you have Giselle, Lugo, and Harvey, so they won't be stretched out. They wouldn't be ready to go on a 3-day notice. So what exactly is the plan, John? When one of these guys gets hurt, are you going to just bring up some random guy from AAA and hope it works out, or you need to have some sort of contingency plan, because I highly doubt the 5 guys are going to stay healthy the whole season.
No, I don't think they will either. Baseball is one of those games. What I think you can do is you could have a bullpen day, essentially, which is the game has changed to the point where if you combine Giselman and Lugo for a start, where they go, one goes to one goes to
you could do that for a start, but if a guy's going to miss, 50 days or something. I don't know how you. I mean, you can stretch them out. You do it for a game, then your bullpen shot for the next 5 days. I mean, I think it's just going to be a tough situation where you're going to get a guy he's pitching 2 innings every few days to where now all right, go pitch 6 innings tomorrow. I don't know. It's going to be a tough situation. Hopefully, we don't have to deal with any catastrophic injuries again.
Well, what I hope they do is they designate someone as like quote unquote the long man, and what they do is they have him, even when he's not pitching, stretch himself out in bullpen sessions so that if something does come like that, you can do that one rotation bullpen day, and then he has a full another 6 days to finish stretching out. It's not the best idea, but I don't think any of those guys have options where you could send them down without potentially losing them to waivers. To keep them stretched out.
I think you could send down Giselle and Lugo, but that's going to hurt the bullpen at this point, so you have to keep them up. But listen, for now, John, the Mets are in first place. The Nationals, they're under 500. They're quite a bit back in the division standings. It's only April, so let's not really look at that. But I have to be happy with the way the Mets have come out of the gates. 15-16 through Tuesday. They played extremely well on the road, 8-2, and I think continuing that trend, we'll be looking at a good season. But let's just hope everybody stays healthy. I mean, we end every show saying that basically, and things will work out. They have veteran leadership now. Guys may be slumping, but they're still getting on base, and they have what I think right now is the best closer in baseball. So until next time, everybody, let's go Mets. Beat the Mets.